Hello, everyone. It is Stacy Booth, and welcome to our Thursday team call. Today, I have asked you guys a couple of questions and things that you want to go over. So I'm going to do that, but I wanted to kind of go over some of the stuff that's going on in Beachbody World first. So if you haven't noticed, the new cafe latte is out. But now you can alternate the flavors. So before you could like alternate chocolate and strawberry or chocolate and vanilla. Now you can actually do chocolate and cafe latte. But now they also have a feature where you can rotate between chocolate, cafe latte, and vanilla. So every like 3 months you would get chocolate, and every 3 months you get vanilla, and every 3 months you get cafe latte. So you don't have to change it every month. It just does it automatically. So that's kind of cool. So your customers can do that as well. If you make Success Club in April, where'd that go? You get an apron, I believe, which I already have 2 aprons. And now I got my 3rd one, so I might use that as a recognition for someone too. But you get like a Shakeology apron, so that's kind of cool. And then, what was the other one? I'm totally losing my notes. I'm sorry, guys. It's showing me March stuff. Are we in April? Why is this showing me March stuff? I'm looking at the TBB Coach 411, and it's showing me March stuff. I don't want March stuff. All right, so Hammer Chisel is on sale this month. The club is on sale this month. And then also the reset, the ultimate reset is doing a price drop. So those are some things. So make sure you guys are checking out the Coach Breaking News when you log into your back office. It's right in the top right-hand corner. It has the National Wake Up Call is there. For most of you, you probably know that I don't listen to the National Wake Up Call live. It's just not a good time for me, so I always listen to the recording. So make sure that you guys are plugging into that, because a lot of questions that I've been receiving are, how do I invite people, or how do I feel comfortable inviting people, or how do I feel comfortable, quote unquote, selling? A lot of that comes from checking into team calls, checking into national wake-up calls, personal development in general, and really you got loving the product, which I know all of you guys love the product, but it really is about connecting with it, because when we're on and we're doing our own thing, unless you're a super self-driven, self-motivated person, it's really hard to sit on the other side of a computer screen by yourself and have the oomph and the drive to want to get through your checklist or do your checklist. And it's hard for me to explain, because I am one of those people that just, I naturally do it. And I'm always asking you guys to know your why. And I am one of those coaches that I'm not super connected with my why. Like, it doesn't make me cry. I just am driven to do a checklist. If you give me a checklist, I do it. I don't know why I do it. I just do it. If you tell me I need to read this book, I'll read it. I've always been that way. So I'm trying to really like dig in and think, okay, how can I help the coaches who are not like me? Because every single person on this team is different, and we all struggle with different things, and getting through those. So I'm trying to figure out, well, how can I help everyone when I'm not necessarily like them? So my biggest suggestion for you guys is you guys have to find personal development that really speaks to you. And I have so many of you guys on here who struggle with self-confidence. And not that I don't struggle with self-confidence, because I do in certain aspects, but it doesn't, it's not so debilitating that it makes it so I can't invite, or that I can't do team calls, or I can't do certain things. But there are some coaches on this team who are shackled by the fear of inviting, or by the lack of self-confidence, that it physically shackles you and makes it so you can't push forward. So I found a new book, and I haven't read the whole thing, so I can't totally suggest it yet, but I'm reading it for you guys, because I want to see, is this going to help me with self-confidence, and can I suggest it to you guys? So if you want to read it along with me, you're more than welcome to, but it's called The Confidence Code. and it's by Katie, or Katie, K-A-T-T-Y-K is her last name, K-A-Y. And I'm really enjoying it. So it's a woman's point of view. It talks about how women have less self-confidence than men, how we do a job well done and we don't feel like we did a job well done. Like we have a hard time patting ourselves on the back and saying, hey, way to go, or things like that. And honestly, there's a lot of times I struggle with those types of things. I don't recognize the work that I've done, or how far I've come in certain areas. So far I'm enjoying it. I haven't gone through the whole thing yet, but it's called the Confidence Code. And I think that a lot of coaches on this team can benefit from it, because the only reason why you're having a hard time inviting people is because of confidence. 100% because of confidence. Another thing that you guys need to do, and I'm just going to tell you, you got to get over it and do it anyways. Mean Stacy's going to come out a little bit here, but you guys have to use the scripts. I don't go off script. Like, I always use the scripts. There might be certain situations where I won't use the first invite of the script because I've already invited them in some way or another, but I follow the rest of the scripts 100% of the time. I copy paste 100% of the time. And I think a lot of you guys are trying to invite or trying to do things, and you're trying to go off script because you think that it sounds, you know, salesy or whatever. But these scripts have been designed to help you. The scripts have been designed to get the most from your customer and help you retrieve enough information to help inform them the best way possible. So I need you guys to use the scripts. That's pretty plain and simple. And I need you guys to just eat the frog once a day. Even if you're only sending out one invite a day, you need to be doing at least once a day. And it's one of those things where if you do it once in a while, it's going to be terrifying. If you do it a lot, it's going to get less terrifying. If you do it every single day, a few times a day, it's going to get to the point where it's like, okay, that's fine, and you just do it. But it can go in the opposite way too, guys. So if you're doing a lot of it and then you stop for a while, it's just like, and I've used the metaphor before, but like, you know, that old pump to pump water where you're pumping the water to get it going, like back in the olden days, pump, 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 and finally the water comes out after like 15,000 pumps. It's kind of like inviting. So if you're pumping it constantly, the water's going to keep flowing. And the water is your ability to invite. The water is the amounts of yeses that you're getting. The water is also the amount of no's that you're getting. So as long as you keep pumping it, it's going to flow easier for you. But as soon as you stop and you start doing it intermittently, it's really hard to get that water going again. Just like with inviting, it's really hard to get going if you're not inviting a lot. If you do it every single day, it's like, oh, this is no big deal. The other thing is that I need you guys to understand that inviting is such a powerful tool. I think it was last week. I had just started the 22 hardcorps. Nope, the beast one. So Sagi, all of the trainers right now are doing challenge groups. If you haven't plugged into them, you should. But they're doing like a push to summer challenge group. So Sagi has his own group going for Body Beast. And it's people in the group that have either bought a challenge pack, haven't bought a challenge pack, they have just the program. Whatever the case may be, they just have to do 4 beast leg workouts in the 30 days. So there's really no requirements of drinking Shakeology, nothing. And one of the challengers in the group posted, and he said that the day that Beast was inviting people to it, because he did a live call or a live Facebook thing, he was going to take a bunch of pills. This guy was going to kill himself. And he saw Beast's invite and said, come join. And something about his invitation was like, okay, I'm going to join this. And when he got into the group, into that big challenge group, he saw all of these people posting and sharing their journey and talking about some of the struggles that they're going through, having the courage to post their pictures, having the courage to post their videos. There's women who are just starting out on their journey and they can just barely do a push-up and they're sharing the video on there. And he was like, I need to share this and I don't know if it's appropriate, but he shared his story about how he was really considering ending his life until he joined this group. And I know that all of our invites aren't that extreme, but there are people out there that are so alone and they are struggling and they are feeling those terrible thoughts of, what's the point of me being here anymore? I'm so miserable. And our one reach out that we're scared to invite them to could be something that changes their life forever. So I don't care if you're inviting to a free group. I don't care if you let someone into your challenge group who hasn't bought anything from you. I don't care if you are doing those types of groups, or if you're having a group where challenge groups are something you're doing, or if you're running eating challenges. I don't care. You need to invite people and get people started. However possible you do it. And you know what? Maybe I'm a bad coach for saying this, but if you guys are on your journey and you're sharing, and maybe you don't make Success Club, but you invite 5 people to join you and they join for free and they're making progress, then I say you're a successful coach. Like, we need to focus on that. Yeah, making money is great, and you know, that's a lot of why a lot of us are joining, but really the reality is that we're trying to help people get started. And sometimes there are different people that need to start on different journeys. So if you are one of those coaches who's like, you know what, I love doing this, this is something that I want to do, but you struggle with the invite, start with something free. Do squat challenges or clean eating groups or just a regular challenge group. Or heck, do one of those call-outs and say, hey, do you have P90X, Insanity, Turbo Fire, whatever, sitting on your shelf and you've never done it? Let's do a group together. Have a bunch of people join and do it. You can still drink your Shakeology. You can still talk about Shakeology. Maybe plug in a couple of other people who are doing the same thing so that they see the benefits of Shakeology. You guys need to understand the benefits of what we have, because we have so many amazing things. And so many of you are scared to share in Shakeology because you think it's so expensive. Well, then if you think it's so expensive and you're scared to share it, then you're not going to be selling it, because you need to know the benefits. You need to know that it's good for you. And we have a few coaches on here who hated drinking Shakeology, but they were drinking it because they knew it was good for them, and they continued to drink it. So share those stories. Talk about those things. Like, I really didn't like Shakeology, but I kept drinking it because of ABC. You guys you have to eat the frog. Like, if you want to do this, like, I'm not going to sit there and tell you guys that you have to invite people and you have to push for Success Club and you have to do all of these things, because it boils down to the fact that you want to do this or not. And that's 100% what it's all about. You need to know that you want to do this. If you want to do this, then great, let's do it. But if you don't, then that's fine. You just need to know your priorities about what you're trying to accomplish. Me, I know that I need to help at least 5 people a month. That's my goal every single month. I have to do that. That's why I'm here. That's why I do this. So you guys just need to make up your mind and say, okay, is this something that I really want to do? And if it's not, then that's okay. Like, maybe it's not for everyone. So I want you guys to really think about it. Is this really for me? Because I want you to love what you do. So that's the whole point of this, is to make our lives better, more interesting, more exciting, more fun, more fulfilling. Okay? All right. So that's really inviting. You guys need to take advantage of the scripts that we have in the back office. In Team Unstoppable. Stephanie took the time to upload several different kinds, because there's different situations for different inviting. So you guys have no excuse not to use a script. There's like 7 or 8 different kinds of scripts in there. So use the scripts. Just copy paste, use the scripts. They don't know you're using a script on the other side. I remember when I was talking to someone and they signed up, and then after they saw the script and they're like, I had no idea you were using a script. And I was like, yep. And she's like, that's pretty cool. And they didn't even care. Like they saw that I used a script and they still didn't care because they knew that I got the information that I needed to help them properly. So use the scripts. All right, so taking selfies and things. So you guys need to know how to take selfies. So right now I'm under a porch, and so there's really good lighting in here. So really good lighting is key. The second thing is that you always want to hold the phone above your face, like at an angle like this. Okay, so you're above you. Because if you're holding it down here, it makes it look like you have a double chin. If you're coming straight on, that's usually not very flattering. So when you're like kind of tilting it down, it gives you a better angle. But lighting is really important. You know, when it's really a dark picture, and I've done it before just because it was like the situation called for it, like the kids were watching a movie or something, so it's kind of dark and grainy. But kind of on the most part, check your photos. You want them to be bright and visible and not cloudy and all that stuff. So being under a porch like this with natural light all around me provides really bright, like as you can see probably with the camera right now, it's pretty bright in here. Being in the shade is actually the best place to take a photo, or outside in general. If you're in direct sun, you're gonna be like, that's not very good either. So don't be in direct sun. But just what I do a lot of times is, I also, if you want to take like a picture of you doing a workout or something, I always set my timer on my phone, and I use my phone's video or thing. Like I did, I don't know if you guys just saw my quick tip, but I did a photo of me and I was doing this. I had set my camera down on something, leaned it up against something, and set the timer. I use the timer for everything. So, I mean, if you go on Pinterest, there's tons of different how to take good selfies. There's really good different ones, and it shows you different angles for different settings, like if you're wanting to just do your face or whatever. So I would check out Pinterest for that. It's really good. What was the other question that I wanted to go over? Yeah, so the whole comfort zone thing, like you guys, a lot of times you say you're doing personal development too, but it might not be the right personal development for you. So keep that in mind too. Not all personal development is created equal. And you also need to really listen to it. I know that there are 2 times a day where I listen to personal development. Actually 3. So 1, I'll be sitting doing work and I'll have personal development on. I'm not really taking in much of that personal development. Just gonna take it right there. I'm listening to it and my subconscious is taking stuff in, but I'm not really hearing anything that's going on. My second time that I listen to personal development is right before bed. I turn on something, I set the timer for a half an hour, and I'm usually out in like 2 minutes. So the first couple of minutes of that, I'm taking in stuff, but still mostly subconscious is going to take that in. So those 2 situations right there are a lot of what coaches are doing for personal development. They're doing something else. They're driving a car, they're doing their checklist, their kids are around. You're not really taking the personal development in. The third time that I do personal development, and it's usually only like 10 or 15 minutes, is pretty short, but it's really concentrated. I turn everything off. My phone is off, my laptop is off, whatever it is. If I'm listening on my phone, then I'll turn off all the other notifications. And I just listen or read and I take notes. Because if you go to a seminar or a training or whatever it is, and you're listening and you're taking notes, you're serious about that because you spent money to be there, so you're taking notes. So it needs to be the same thing with personal development. I don't care if it's free from YouTube. I don't care if it's a book or whatever. You still need to take notes. A lot of times when I'm doing calls and things like that, a lot of my topics come from what I'm reading. And like this morning, I listened to like 7 ways to jumpstart your day, and I was like, oh, good, I'm doing most of those. So I didn't really have anything good to share with you guys today. But my personal development was not great. But that's what you guys need to do. You need to write things down. You need to take quotes from it. And guess what? If you're taking quotes from your personal development, you're getting content to share on your page. Okay? So if you love a quote from your book, do a picture, and then, you know, you could do flowers or whatever you want. Take a picture outside, and then just put the words from the quote over the top of the flower, and you have content for your page. So there's so many different things that personal development does to help you. It gives you content. It gives you ways to train others. It helps make your mind better. But it also gives you the confidence that you need to invite. But it's really, I think for inviting, it's so important to be a part of Beachbody community stuff, like these calls, hopping onto it when I do them, and I'm not very good at telling you beforehand, but it's like 5 minutes beforehand. But when I do the live checklist things, getting on with me, and use that time to send out your invites. Allie Gildart just went Ruby today. Way to go, Allie. Allie hops on with me all the time. And she asks me questions all the time. And she sends invites with me on all the time. And as she's sending the invite, if she gets a response that she doesn't know how to handle, she asks me, and we talk through it. Sometimes I give her a suggestion, she doesn't use it, but it makes something else in her mind click and say, oh, I know how to say that. That's what these are for. It's because when you're in the midst of sending an invite or whatever, sometimes you're not sure of how to respond. And sometimes, not very often, when you're through the invite process, you might need to go off invite topic, like not following the script. But a lot of times when I'm working with Allie, she's getting to the point of inviting. So she's not even to the invite yet. She's trying to form them enough to get them to an invite. And I guess that is an art of trying to get them to that point. But you guys have to be a part of the community. You have to join these calls. You have to listen to the National Wake Up Calls, because there's so much information out there to help you. And I might not be your best resource because I might not be like you. So if you're exploring other Beachbody coaches on YouTube or listening to the Team National Wake Up Calls, you're going to hear someone say probably the same thing that I've said before, but it's said in a different way and it clicks with you. So you guys need to constantly be taking in information. And when you're doing that, you're constantly submerging yourself in the Beachbody world. It's a positive world. It makes you feel good. It makes you want to be a part of it. It makes you want to invite. It makes you want to talk to people. So you guys have to be submerging yourself into the world, into our world, and not closing yourself off. And I think that's what a lot of times we do. We get scared. We have success and then we don't, and then we're embarrassed, whatever the case may be. It's like, I don't care, don't be embarrassed, just try again. You know, there's definitely times where I fail all the time, and it's like, well, that stinks. Like I was talking to, I think I was talking to Stephanie and my success partner. I was like, oh, Summit's going to be a little rough for me this year because I'm going into Summit at the same rank that I was last year. Who cares? Am I having a good time? Yes. Am I still helping people? Yes. Am I still enjoying what I'm doing? Yes. So why do I care what rank is? I shouldn't. But in a sense, that's a failure. I didn't move forward this year. But you guys got to stop letting those types of things stop you from inviting. And there's so many things that prevent you from inviting that I haven't even covered nearly half of them, because every single person has different reasons why they're not able to just invite someone. And you have to identify what your own reason is and then try to figure out a way to get around that. And it's hard for me to know exactly what yours is, and it's probably some kind of subconscious. Hi! Oh my God! My friend just showed up, and I haven't seen her in forever. Come on over. So Yeah, I totally just lost topic, but I think that's pretty much good. But I think you guys just need to really focus on yourselves and finding why you're having a hard time doing whatever it is you're doing. Even if it's fitness, sometimes we sabotage ourselves with fitness or eating or whatever. So you need to come and think about, why can't I do this? And then let me know, and maybe I can help brainstorm specifically to you, because I can say it general to everyone, but it might not help you because it might not be exactly your reason why you're struggling. So, all right, guys, have a great day. I'm going to go hang out with my friend. I'm super excited. I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.